All right, YouTube, we're back. We're going to start doing Q&A on Thursdays, and then we're going to put the instructional videos out on Tuesdays. Number one, guys, I can't thank you enough. You guys are asking some great questions. You guys are emailing me. With the way that YouTube works, like sometimes I'll get notifications on my phone that somebody will ask me a question in a comment, and then when I go to answer it online, I can't find that comment. So I do my best to answer all of your questions as much as possible, your emails, your comments. Sometimes I just can't because they're overloading. So I'm really trying to do my best. What I want to do is, we just finished up the series with the hand movements, you know, Tan Sao, Pak Sao, Bong Sao. And I want to now do on Thursdays, but for Friday, so it'll become out Fridays because we're in Chicago, so you guys get a Friday. I want to do Q&A. So some of you guys are asking some fantastic questions that I think that I can answer better online in a video. To interact better with me, and this is something that I hope you guys do, film a video. If you guys have a question on something and you really want to articulate it, film your own video and then attach it in the comments. Leave it as a video reply. I try to approve everything. I really try not to censor anybody's comments unless they write a book over and over and over again, which is just ridiculous. And I apologize if I have censored some people, which I'm totally against myself, so I guess I'm being a little bit of a hypocrite. But do a video. Put it up as a video response. I'll be more than happy to answer back. I think that's, number one, that's better interaction. And number two, if you have a martial arts YouTube channel, use our audience. They'll get to see you and you'll get more people noticing yours, and you may have a valid question that somebody else needs to ask too, and we can't answer. So I'm going to answer two questions here because they actually they go hand in hand with each other, and we're going to actually address this in the new video coming up because we're going to start the forms, going to start seal them down, break it down. The first question, this is by Empty Sky Hollow. I actually like this one, so I thought this is kind of, he makes a statement, and this is kind of personal for me. Only in martial arts do people learn and honestly master a technique over years and years without learning to pronounce the names of them correctly. Okay, well, you know what? There's nothing more irritating than being an Italian guy going in the deli section of your store and hearing somebody order capicola, or they want hot gardenier on their sandwiches. Okay, so I understand you. I don't speak Cantonese, so if I didn't pronounce the yun sao or hun sao, I'm sorry about that. So I just thought I'd address that right back. It's gabagal and jardinier, just to let you know. And it's not ricotta cheese, it's ragout. All right, so the two questions that are actually a little bit serious today. Brandon Travis asks, do you implement dumbbells for punching power and speed? I did an extensive study into 2 weights for speed and 5 to 10 pounds for power. So 2 pound weights for speed and 5 to 10 pounds for power. I learned this technique in boxing. Now I'm not knocking and I'm not the Incredible Hulk, but notice that most Wing Chun Sifus do not train like this. Absolutely, I kind of agree with that, and we were talking about that before. When you put any kind of weights in your hands, all right, in my opinion, what you're doing is you are taking away from the intent of where your elbow is supposed to be. So it doesn't matter if you're wearing weighted gloves or if you have dumbbells on or whatnot. The beauty about the weighted rings that I like those a little bit is because they'll rest on your wrist and you can still push that elbow energy forward, all right? I'm going to talk in the first form about elbow energy and my association with it. Power, speed, all that stuff, that is completely understanding your relationship between the elbow and the rest of your body. If I took a 2 pound weight, if I took this 12 pound weight and I hold it here, okay, I could hold this all day long. I start holding this out here, it gets real heavy really fast. So you got to ask yourself, between the 2 joints, wrist or elbow, which one's closest to the body? The elbow. So you start paying attention to this more than you pay attention to this. That's why I don't have weights in my hands learning to punch, and I don't wind up putting on gloves that have weights. But that's kind of contradictory, because if you saw the video of me doing the wide grip hammer strength with the 450, that's because I understood the relationship of where my hands made contact, and I was actually pushing with my core and my elbows. So it's elbow energy on that. So great question on that. I just want to cover that. I can answer that better in a video than I can writing it. And then, this is from Johnny Ohm. Johnny asks, regarding forwarding energy, is there anything to worry about overcommitting into a movement or a technique? If I remember correctly from my time studying Wing Chun, one thing that seemed to be repeated was the idea of making your hands separate from your shoulders and your body structure. So that if someone grabbed you or deflected a limb or pulled you off balance, of course, If somebody grabbed me, I could let them take my arm, move right into them. I guess that's where forward energy helps. Yes, this is exactly why we're going to cover the first form and extensive, just what it means to me as far as what our stance goes, the counterbalance. I've said it before, the one thing that I don't like about certain things like you know, any kind of long bridge punching or even, and again, this is, I'll say this to make a debate because I'm sure somebody can prove me wrong. Like I was talking to my student about Krav Maga the other day, where you know they punch in and they're heavy front forward intent based off that. If I step in, boxing punch, Krav Maga punch, whatever it is, and again I'm kind of picking a fight so you guys can interact with me on this. And Matt steps offline, I have to come back and face him right away. When we learn the Yiji Kim Young Ma and the rooting of the first stance and that tripod effect, when Matt, you know, this time steps offline with my punch, I'm already on line with him right away because I'm keeping this in a certain structure. Also, with the whole idea of turning off energy or forwarding intent, yeah, if I take in a punch and Matt pox this, now he's got a handle, and if I don't, if he tense this up, now Matt moves me, he's got my whole body. If he wants to lock me, he can lock me. If you turn everything off, I punch, and now Matt pushes into me, he's just got that. Matt lops me, he's got a dead fish. All right, and I covered that in another video with Matt over the summer. When we talked about one of the drills we were doing is I punch, Matt pox, and I turn off. I punch, Matt pox, I turn off. I punch, Matt, I turn off. Because I'm not separating my shoulder from the rest of my core, but I'm understanding what's more important. My core is, my structure, my hips, my waist, my spine. This gives him a complete anchor to here. Okay, if I turn this off per se, I can still give him forward intent. Again, push in, whatever you want to do, and it's going to tell me what to do next. It doesn't separate my shoulder from the rest of my body, but it makes me understand that my body's the most important thing on here. So I always want to pay attention to my body, my core, not my arms, which ties in with that way I don't want to put weights in my hands and learn to punch, because now I have this forward intent, and my intent now is stuck out here all the time. A drill you can do with someone as a partner, and it doesn't even need to be Wing Chun, is I have my students do this. I always have somebody make contact with me when they're new. And I tell them, and try this, I will make contact. And I'm constantly massaging their hand and tapping their hand because I want them to focus on that. So I'll say, okay, relax a little bit. When you're not allowed to move your hand off of my torso. Okay, I want all your mental, all your intent, all your focus in your hand. Where is it?
Where's my hand?
It's got to go where?
Hand.
And I want them so focused on their hand. When I say go, I want you to push me forward with your hand. Okay, so you're going to push me forward with your what?
Hand.
With your what?
Hand.
It's going to push me forward with his hand. Okay, go. I want you to jam me forward. Push me forward. Get in good stance. You know what you're doing. Get a good stance. Push me forward with your hand. Push me forward, man. What the hell? All right, relax. That's horrible. Now we're going to change this up a little bit. Now, I want all your intent in your elbow. You're not allowed to push his hand back. You better shove me back like there's no tomorrow. Put all your intent in your elbow. Where's it going?
Elbow.
You're going to drive me forward with your what?
Elbow.
With your what?
Elbow.
You're going to drive me forward with that elbow? Go. Drive me forward with your what?
Elbow.
Drive me forward with your what?
Elbow.
Go. You can see a difference, or you can't feel the difference. So I would suggest take somebody, line them up, put all your intent in your hand. In fitness, we call this the primary driver. If you're pushing, it's the primary driver. If you're pulling something, it's a primary driver. You guys don't even need this. If you guys want to go to a gym, go to a seated bench press machine, because there'll be safety. Line up the bar with your with the palm heel of your hand so that your radius and your elbows support it. Bring your elbows wherever you feel comfortable with. And then with your hands, put all the intent in your hands, drive whatever weight you think you can drive forward. Then put your intent in your elbows. Drive that weight forward with your elbows. You tell me what you see with a better difference. Same thing with pulling. Go on a seated row, put all your intent in, think pull your hands into yourself. Pull your hands into yourself. Then change it up. Put your intent in your elbow, your hands are just hooks. Pull your elbows back. So those two questions, guys, were great because they tied in with each other with forward intent, not overstepping, and also where your intent and your focus should be. We're going to cover that in extension in the first form. The first section talks all about that. So that'll be next week's video. So again, what I want to do is I want more interaction with you guys on every Wednesday. So Tuesday for Wednesday, I'm going to be putting out a video on instructional. And then on Thursday for Friday, we're going to be putting out a Q&A answering your questions. So anything to add on either one of those?
I do actually, for the committing versus overcommitting question. It's always my understanding in martial arts an overcommitted technique or an attack is something to where if that attack misses, you're going to lose your balance, you're going to fall over, or in whatever way you're not going to be able to recover in time for the next attack. So if I go to punch Dominick and he moves out of the way, am I going to overcommit? Am I going to throw everything at that so where I have nothing left if he changes the angle? That was what I consider overcommitting. You want to commit the attack to where whether or not you hit, it does not matter if you hit your target or not. You hit hard enough to where if the shot hits, it's going to do enough damage to get the job done, but it's not enough to where you're going to bowl over or not have another strike after that shot misses, or whether it hits, it doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm. That's recovery. That's Wing Chun's recovery. That's one of the reasons the wooden dummy is so it's so important for us to understand. A great point. All right, so we'll see you in the next video. Great questions. Keep them coming. Please interact with us more. Start filming some videos and let us share our popularity with you. So we'll see you in the next video. Thanks.